I'm Shoestring Jane. Welcome back to my channel and to my vlog of the month, or just a general kind of chit chat of the month of August, my frugal month and my frugal life. I don't feel like I've done that much. In fact, I haven't done a video at all this week, so I apologise for that. I do try to post twice a week, but this week I've just been exhausted. I just had no mental or physical energy. And it just hits me like that every now and then. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia about 4 years ago, and it's so mild. I mean, I know some people have fibromyalgia very badly. I think I manage it quite well, but every now and then it just kind of things get on top of me. I get a bit kind of exhausted, and it's been a bit like that this month. I've had quite low energy levels, so um, we've still done quite a lot. We do a lot of dog walking, etc. We still have to do that, whatever. You can't not do that. Say to the dog, sorry, I'm knackered today, you can't have a walk. So, but I just feel like I haven't achieved that much. I had hoped to have a good start on the bedroom redecoration this month, but it hasn't happened. So, Justin's been quite busy, and I've just been really tired and quite busy actually. So, with me, the fibromyalgia, it tends to just take the form of being very tired, but I do get quite sort of achy as well, which makes doing things like painting a bit difficult. So I find my thumbs hurt, my wrists hurt, my knees, my ankles, my back. It started when I was still working in an office and with what I thought was a trapped nerve in my neck, and then later I realised it was probably part of the fibromyalgia thing where you get muscles just going to a spasm, and I had it for about 3 months, and I had to have months and months off work. I was in agony. It was horrible. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. And fortunately I haven't had an episode like that since, but I've been a lot better since I gave up work. Once I gave up work, since I started working for myself, that was really a big prompt. I think that feeling like that and being diagnosed as having fibromyalgia made me jump at the chance of taking a voluntary redundancy. That was one of the issues, one of the reasons I decided to do it. And I do feel a lot better because I can manage my own time. I can have a lie-in if I want a lie-in if I haven't slept very well. I can have a nap in the afternoon. Nobody cares, and then I can kind of work around that. So sometimes I might work into the evenings or get up and work really early in the morning when I'm still really fresh. I don't have to do the 9 to 5, so that's really good. So it's been one of those kind of months, really. I do find that if I eat well, don't eat too much processed stuff, don't eat too much sugar, and don't drink too much alcohol, that impacts on me, has a positive impact on me. And you may have seen some of my videos where I was looking at whether I could do a plant-based diet on a budget. I'm not entirely sticking to completely plant-based. I wasn't anyway, actually. I never said that I would be completely plant-based because I know that I can't eat a lot of pulses and things like that, for example. But I've probably come away from the big plates of raw vegetables. I started out having massive salads and hummus and stuff like that. I can't do that. That really aggravates my IBS. I just can't do that. I wish I could. I wish I could be a vegan. I would really like to be from a health point of view, and morally I would love to not eat meat and dairy. I've cut right back on my dairy actually. I'm having oat milk most of the time, but I am still eating cheese and I am still eating eggs. I'm just trying to eat lots of fruit and vegetable, include them in every meal, but not raw. So that's the way to go for me. I also find that I can manage the fibromyalgia if I exercise. And I have mentioned that I'm a trained yoga teacher before in previous videos, I think. I don't teach at all at the moment, but I do practice practically every morning. There are occasional mornings where we get up really early and we rush out because I find I have to do the exercise first thing, because if I don't have the energy to do it later. So I am lucky that I do know what to do. So I do it like a gentle half an hour yoga based stretching session every morning, and that makes a massive difference. That got me better actually. As soon as I'd kind of decided that that was what I was going to do, when I had the problem with my neck and was in severe pain, I just got to the stage where I thought, no one's going to help me. The doctors don't have anything they can give me except painkillers, or they suggested surgery on my spine at one point. I thought, no one's going to help me. I need to help myself. So that's when I started reverting back to, doing very regular yoga. And I started in a chair. I couldn't get on and off the floor. And obviously I can do that now, but I noticed within maybe 6 weeks I felt better. So if anybody else has similar issues with fibromyalgia or maybe ME type things, a really gentle, preferably daily and always morning before you run out of energy, yoga session is brilliant. It's just I can't guarantee it. I cannot recommend it more. It's very good. So I'm doing that. I'm trying to do a little bit more of that. I have found that not eating sugar, which I wasn't eating at all when I started doing the plant-based regime, makes me feel much better. It stops the achiness, and the bits of arthritis that I've started to see, like in this finger, you see it's slightly bent. That was very red and bent, and now it's just a bit bent. And in fact, it's not as kind of bent and puffy. It was quite misshapen. It's still, if I poke it, it's a bit sore, so I can see it's arthritis. And I had signs of that in my right hip. When I was walking the dog, I felt like it was going clank, 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 and that has gone. So keeping my sugar levels very low is definitely the way to go. So I'm going to carry on doing that. It's been a doggy sort of month. I've been helping my friend who fell over and broke her leg with her dog. So we've been taking them for a walk when we take Archie sometimes, 2 or 3 times a week. They're 2 beautiful red setters. They're really gorgeous dogs and really no trouble, much better behaved than Archie is actually. So we've been doing a little bit of extra walking with them. Have a look at them. They're absolutely gorgeous girls. And as well as walking lovely Maggie and Rosie, I have been trying to do a little bit of training with Archie, and here's why. So I'm trying to do some training with this little boy because he's good in that he's a lovely dog and he will come back to you. You are lovely, aren't you? He'll come back to you when you're out, generally, unless there's something really exciting going on. But he is super anxious. I've said this before. He's super anxious. He can't be left. He's a lockdown dog. So I was looking at the cost of like trainers and animal behaviourists and decided that it was really worth having a go ourselves. So we've started a little training regime. So we're teaching him a few little tricks that we should have taught him before, really, some basic stuff. He can do sit and lay. I'm teaching him paw and try and get him to sit stay, because he doesn't do that. He will sit, but he will stay about 10 seconds if you're lucky. Isn't that right? Are you a bad pupil? So I use bits of ham because that's cheaper than treats, and he likes them better than treats, and it doesn't upset his stomach. So just buy cheap ham from Aldi. And the other thing we're trying to deal with is his separation anxiety. So when we leave the house without him, we can't leave the house. He just bucks the house down. So because obviously lockdown's finished now, we need to be able to go out sometimes without him. We have started a concerted campaign of leaving him by himself just for 5 minutes at a time. I've been reading up on the internet about what people say you should do, and we've got a free app called Clever Dog, and you can see him. We've got a little camera, that wasn't free, and we can see what he's up to, and we can see he's barking continuously the whole time we're gone. So we're leaving him for 5 minutes, and then we're going to increase it to 10 minutes and then 15 minutes until hopefully he can actually be left alone for a period of time, because this is crazy. We can't go out anywhere, we can't do anything, can we? Because you're a spoilt brat, aren't you? You're a spoilt brat, but we love you, don't we? We do. Love him, he's cute. Look at his face. Look at that face. Look at that face. So we have a bit of a house full this month. We have an extra lodger, so we've currently got two. I've mentioned before, I think, that we rent out our spare room. It's a really, really good way to make extra money if you happen to have a spare room. And I quite like the company as well. So we always insist on female lodgers. I think you're not really officially allowed to do that, but in the end, it's your house. So, you know, you can live with who you want to live with. And I always want women. I don't want to be walking around worrying about some strange bloke in my house. So I'm here quite a lot by myself, and I don't want that. So I think that's up to me, really. So we have currently two, as I say, because one of them was already here and is going to be here till early September, and she's going abroad to study. And then the other one was coming over from New Zealand to work in our local zoo, which is quite exciting, I think. And she had to start her job 2 weeks before that. So I said, well, we do have another tiny little room. You could come and stay in there if you've got nowhere else to go. So she has done that. So we've currently got two lodgers, so a bit of a house full, but it's quite nice. I quite enjoy it. And she seems like she's going to be really, really lovely, this one. So in the UK, you can earn up to, I think it's up 7,500. It might be slightly, it's around that figure. It may not be exactly that. 7,500 a year, tax-free, through the government's rent-a-room scheme. So that's worth looking into. So yes, we've got that. That's happened. We had a really lovely cheap day out at Harwich, which is on the Essex coast. We are in Essex. We've got a lot of nice coastline here. Harwich and Dovercourt, they're very pretty. I mean, you've got the kind of slight blot on the landscape that is Felixstowe, but even that's not that bad. And so we had a really nice day out. People are talking about staycations, and that seems to be a bit of a buzzword because people don't want to go abroad at the moment. But for me, a staycation was always staying at home, sleeping in your own home, and going for days out and exploring your local area. That's what I always thought a staycation was. I mean, we've always had the other sort of staycation, and we do go abroad very occasionally, but mostly we're in the UK somewhere. So people are getting all excited about the fact they've got a staycation, and there's about 6 million of them up Snowdon at the same time. I think I'm glad I'm not there now. It's beautiful, Snowdon, but I don't want to be there with half the population. So the reason we went to Harwich was because a Banksy, or possibly a Banksy, has appeared on the seafront. It hasn't been validated yet, so whether it actually is a Banksy, I don't know. I mean, I'm not an expert. It looks like a Banksy to me, so I'll show you some pictures of that. But anyway, have a look at our lovely cheap day out on the Essex coast. So today we're in Harwich on the hunt for a Banksy that's appeared. That's not a Banksy, that's an Archie and a Justin. That big ship over there is the Evergreen, which is the one that caused all the problems in the Suez Canal, we think. Bit of a grey day, but it's very, very mild. Stormy looking. Archie wants a paddle, but he's not allowed on the beach. It's really inviting. It's really still, isn't it? I can't believe how still the water is today. But that's thunder, isn't it? Thunder, and we have a bit of light rain as well. Sounds like it. That's Felixstowe Port over there, where all of our stuff comes in that we'll keep buying. It's Mr. Shoestring with his glasses on. He doesn't need glasses. Just telling you that, he doesn't need glasses.
Don't need glasses. And the awareness mate, you feel happy.
And that is Harwich and Dovercourt. Stormy. You're on a paddle. Found a bit of doggy beach. Didn't even go in. Look at this cool boat. It's like a pirate radio ship, and it was on that film, The Boat That Rocked. They used it for that. The Boat That Rocked. Memories of Radio Caroline. Excellent. We usually have a pretty good veg patch going. We have some fruit bushes as well down the garden, but we usually grow all sorts. We have a greenhouse, grow tomatoes in there and cucumbers, sometimes peppers and chilies. We always have some chard on the go, possibly some spinach, although I find it tends to bolt, so I don't like that too much. Runner beans, really miss those this year. Courgettes, beetroot, that kind of thing. But this year we just decided we were going to give it a miss because we wanted to focus on doing some DIY to the house. I've mentioned this before as well, and there's only so much I can do, physical stuff. But it turns out that even without growing my own courgettes, I still had a courgette glut because people keep giving them to me. So I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm going to bother growing them again because everybody's always trying to get rid of their courgettes at this time of year. So I had a massive soup making session. I usually fill the freezer with courgette soup or vegetable soup or whatever we have a glut of, really. Beetroot soup's quite good actually. But I had a go. I never use a recipe. I usually just chuck in loads of courgettes, some celery, a little bit of onion maybe, potatoes, bit of garlic, all that kind of thing. Any sort of leftover veg, and just see how it turns out. So see what you think of my efforts. So I've been given lots of courgettes by somebody, and I am using them and all sorts of leftover vegetables to make some soup. So I've got courgettes, potatoes, a little bit of onion. I don't really eat much onion. Celery. I'm going to put this little tail end of a cabbage in there just to use it up as well, and a bit of garlic as well, and just make a big old pot full. And the others I think I'll chop up and put in the freezer for, or some of them anyway, I'll put in the freezer for just when I want to make more soup in the winter. Don't need to make it all at once. So that's bubbling away nicely. I'm going to whiz that up in a minute. This is a very old stock pot, but you know, I'm not going to get rid of it because it works perfectly well. It's sound, the handles will work fine, and I don't care what it looks like when it's making my soup. done. A great big vat of courgette and vegetable soup. As you would expect, I have been in the charity shops this month. I haven't been to any boot sales. Every time I've thought about going to a boot sale, the heavens have opened and I've thought, well, no one's going to be there. And it's pointless going to a boot sale in the rain, really. You only get the traders, the diehards, who tend to have the same old tat every time. But I have been in the charity shops a few times, and I've also looked on Facebook Marketplace, which is good for second-hand stuff, I find. I've looked on there for some bits. I've also got rid of a single bed that a friend gave me but was barely used, that I no longer need, by putting it for free on Facebook Marketplace and FreeCycle. It went within a couple of hours on Marketplace, so it's really good for that. So here's some of my second-hand bargains anyway for the month. So because we're going to be doing the bedroom soon, well, we're starting it. We've kind of started it. I've done some of the furniture. I wanted to get a new light. The light we've got in here currently is just horrible. It's been there for ages. I don't like it at all. I wanted to get a new chandelier. I was looking at the price of new ones and they were like 40 quid plus, and I'm on a second-hand year anyway, so obviously didn't want to buy a new one if I could possibly find a second-hand one. And then this one was in the charity shop, so it's not perfect. It's got some marks on it. It can be cleaned up though. But it was £4, which is pretty good. And I also got this mirror because I want to put one on the wall here. So this one will get scrooged to the wall here. And that was £3.50. So I would like a big freestanding one really, but there's not really a lot of space in here, so can't have one. But so those are two second-hand bargains. You don't really have to spend much doing up your house, do you? And another of our second-hand bargains is this bed in the lodger room, which cost £50, and she threw in the mattress, which was very clean. I wouldn't normally have had a mattress, but it has no marks on it. It's very clean. And she gave me a mattress topper as well, all for 50 quid. I think that's really good. So that's better. The lodger had a single bed before. I actually can't believe he's allowed in here. I don't think so. Off you get. Other things I've done to save money this month is keep an eye on our local Frugal group. We do have FreeCycle as well, but the Frugal group tends to be the most active here. And I found a chair that's identical to our other dining chairs, just a single chair, but we've got 4 chairs and we occasionally do need an extra 1 or 2 even. So when I saw it, I grabbed that. That was really good. So I went round and got that for free. It's brilliant, FreeCycle and Frugal. I have been drying the laundry outside. I always dry it on the line if I can, if it's nice weather. It hasn't been a particularly nice August. It's been really quite wet at times. So what I've done, I've taken to putting the areas that I usually use indoors outside under the gazebo and drying everything out there. Sometimes I use the little tiny room, but of course I've had 2 lodgers, so I haven't been able to dry anything inside. And to be honest, I love not drying laundry inside. I won't have a tumble dryer though. I'm never going to give in to one. People must think I'm mad, but I don't want a tumble dryer. I don't want to use that extra energy if I can avoid it. So I don't have one, and that's what I've been doing instead, just putting it under the gazebo, and it has been drying off okay. My hair is a mess. As you can see, it needs a cut. I have been putting off getting it cut and putting it off. I was thinking I would wait until the local hairdressing college went back for the new term, but I've got an event over the bank holiday weekend and I've given in and booked a hairdresser's appointment because I don't think I can go. It just feels really kind of straggly and it's gone a bit dry, so I don't think I can wait, even though I love going to the hairdressing college because they charge £7.50 for a cut and blow dry, which is just so cheap. I will be dyeing my own though. I've got the kit ready upstairs to do my roots, which really need doing, so I'll be dyeing my own hair before I go and get it cut. So that's pretty much it for the month of August. As I say, we haven't done masses. It's been a kind of, I don't know, just a kind of ambling along sort of month really, but that's what most people's lives are like, isn't it? Let's face it. And I've been doing some work, of course, as well. I've been writing some blog posts. I've written blog posts for myself on shoestringcottage.com, but also for other people. So it's quite nice to get paid a little bit for writing blog posts for other people. I also find when I write for other people, I am much better at sticking to a deadline. So when someone else says, can you do a blog post on this subject by, I just sit and just do it in the morning. But when I've got my one to do for myself, I can procrastinate for England. So it's quite good. I've done a little bit of that kind of money making. I've been selling some things on eBay. Oh, hello, it's a cat. Yeah, well, I always get an animal, don't I? I just chat and I always get an animal coming to interfere. This one's Dora. She's not, she's shy, she's keeping out of the camera angle, that's good. So pretty much that's it. I'm sorry if it's been a bit dull. My life is not that exciting. But that's my frugal month for August. Don't forget, if you like chatting to like-minded folk, we have a really good community going on my Facebook group, My Secondhand and Frugal Life. We have over 5,000 members now, and it's really a lovely community, so do come on over and join that. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe and turn your notifications on so you know when I've videoed something and uploaded it next time. See you next time. Bye.